What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Azura Media Club, home of the Bad Girl Coven. Today we're talking Code Lyoko Season 2. Oh, I'm your Coven leader, Emily, by the way. Here we are. Oh, no, okay. It's not gonna do that yet. Anyway, so yeah, we're reviewing Code Lyoko Season 2, which is a kind of a big improvement, I would say, on Season 1, but also loses some elements of Season 1 that, you know, were really cool about Season 1. You know, all these, like, little horror things we were talking about, like, there's that episode with the mice, or, like, the bees. Like, that doesn't really happen in Season 2. It's all about Xana, and Xana's possessing people, and that's kind of... He's more of a trickster. He's becoming, like, very tricky. Like, he dresses himself up as Franz Hopper. He possesses himself as Franz Hopper. He has, like, these polymorph things that can change into people, basically. One at a time he uses, like, Franz Hopper to, like, convince the Lyoko team that, like, everything's all good, and then he almost takes over Lyoko. And actually, at the very... Sorry, spoilers for Season 2. At the very end of the season, he does take over Lyoko. For 5 seconds, and then Franz Hopper, the real Franz Hopper, comes in and, like, fucking stops him, which was great. I would say if there's one big flaw of the season, because a lot of the season is great. The main good thing about the season is it's kind of delving into its mysteries and creating new mysteries, you know? There wasn't really an overarching thing other than, like, trying to bring Aelita to the real world in the previous season, which was good, and that came through. Oh, and of course we got the will they, won't they with Yubi, and then they introduced fucking William in this season, and, you know, I'm pretty sure it's gonna, like, just get worse in the next couple of seasons or whatever, but... I love this theme song, by the way. The theme song is fucking excellent. This is the, if there's one thing about the show that's, like, the most amazing part, it's the goddamn theme song. But the show is great, and that's what I'm starting to realize. Like, you know, 7 years ago me, whenever we watched this fucking show last with my friends, and they didn't really care for it. Fuck that shit, man. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and my opinion is this is a great show with a couple of flaws that... some of it is fixed by just watching the show at 1.5 speed. Like I said, the Lyoko sections don't always work. I think they actually improved on the Lyoko sections here. They raised the stakes a little bit, you know? And they discover this Sector 5. Basically, it's like where Xana is, and like his brain is there, and like lots of secrets are there and stuff. So they always kind of have to go through this sequence. They go to Sector 5 through like one of the other sectors, and then they have to like hit this key, which is just like this button on the wall somewhere. That stuff gets a little bit tedious because it's like that's the same thing every time, and there's very little variety with that. But so that's maybe like the flaw of the season, is that kind of stuff. But you know what's gonna happen. They're trying to lure Aelita to Lyoko so this Skipazoa thing can go and take all of her memory, which at the end of the season we end up finding out is because once the Skipazoa has that, then it can, it'll get Xana to be able to go, like, release himself into the world. So then now he's on the internet, basically, which is like, okay. So now we're doing Mega Man Battle Network or whatever, but that's still cool. I love that series, though. So yeah, so I'm interested to see where that goes. I mean, I kind of remember where that goes, and I think that actually... it sort of leads to another sector, which gets kind of tedious, if I remember right. You know, I was asking for more sectors, and that's kind of like what happens here. But at the same token, it's like, you know, it still gets a little tedious when we just hang out in the same one the whole time. Some cool stuff that happened, though. Jeremy, like, figured out how to, like, program towers or whatever, like Xana does. So that's pretty cool. He created, like, a virus that, like, almost destroyed Lyoko or whatever and almost killed everyone. That was an interesting episode. Stuff like that. There's a lot of great episodes where they do stuff like that. But then there's a lot of episodes where they just rest on their laurels and possess a person, and it just gets kind of boring. There's not a lot going on, you know? But a lot of the time, the season, like, starts out, too, where it's, like, they introduce, like, the Hermitage, which is, like, that house where Aelita used to live and stuff. And, so that's all really interesting. You know, there's the whole thing with the little elf doll thing, Mr. Puck or whatever, which I made a very cringy Tomba 3 trailer with on my other channel, like several years back, whenever we were watching this last time. Which I still think is fucking hilarious, but like, at the same time, I feel kind of bad because like, you know, like, I gave people hope that there was some... I posted on April Fools. Come on, you guys. Like, I know. But anyway. Enough about that. Anyway, so last time I watched the show, yeah, you know, it was like a little, like, you know, tedious and whatnot. But I feel like you just gotta watch it on 1.5 speed and it goes a little better, you know? So, and don't make it like your main thing. And I mean, if you're watching it for the first time, maybe, but... I like to put it on the side, like I keep saying, so. They introduced a couple new enemies, like the tarantula, they call it, which doesn't really look like a tarantula. It looks like a lizard thing. The Schizozoa enemy, which doesn't really do anything other than, like, take Aelita's memory. The mantas, which are in Sector 5 there. We have the vehicles now, so everyone has a vehicle, and I think their costumes look like a little bit different. They kind of change them every season to like be better. And I know they're gonna fix this in the next season, but one of my main complaints was the Aelita. Like, she doesn't have any weapons, right? Like, what the fuck is with that? Like, Jeremy, program her some fucking weapons. And a vehicle of her own, thank you. Now that she's in the real world, like, you need to do that for her, you know? If you want her to be safe. There's this whole episode where she's like, Jeremy, don't worry about me anymore, or being protected or whatever. And I'm like, dude, the fuck? Like, give her something to defend herself with, you know? I don't know. I know they fix that, like, soon. Maybe in this next season? I don't know. They fix that eventually, but they should have fixed it earlier, is my point. So she wasn't, like, super fucking defenseless, you know? Yeah. What else? I'm trying to think. Like, the whole Franz Hopper, like, the season starts off, like, they find Franz Hopper's diary. Or not starts off, that's in, like, the Mr. Puck episode. They get the key from inside the thing, and then they go and find that, and then, like, Xana, like, corrupts it or something, but then it's, like, or, like, he destroys the physical discs, but Jeremy, like, backs it up to the supercomputer, so then, like, he has to decode it, which apparently to decode it, he needs the data from Sector 5 there, so... Yeah, you know, like, so that's a thing. He needs the Sector 5 data, and that, I guess that data does a whole bunch of other stuff, and, like, Jeremy's like, oh, there's, like, some kind of antivirus placed, or, some kind of virus placed on Aelita, so they can't shut down Lyoko, right? Well, they find out it's, like, just a missing core to her memory or something. And I guess, like, Franz Hopper gives that back to her at the end of the season. But, like, also... Then why don't they shut down the supercomputer in the next season? Like, what's the deal with that? Like... Also, I had a really interesting thought about... that and the supercomputer and stuff. And it kind of... It doesn't ruin the show, but it kind of made me think, like, yeah, this might be kind of a plot hole, or I don't even think it is, really. I think it's more so just, like, they know the implications of what they're doing, but, and I guess that's why they're there, is to, like, save the day and stuff, but, like, you wouldn't have to save the day if you just sacrificed Aelita. It's a lot like the Chloe, you know, Bay situation from Life is Strange, you know? If you just sacrifice Chloe, Arcade Bay is fine. But it's like they're actively trying to do the opposite. And we end up finding out that Aelita was, like, a real person. But, you know, when you're talking about, like, hundreds of students and, like, maybe even thousands of residents in the nearby town or whatever, you know, and Xana is constantly causing bullshit and nearly killing people, it's like... you know, at that point, Aelita maybe just needs to be sacrificed. And I know that it's like Jeremy running the show, but they never put this on the table as an idea, you know? It's like, I know it's like the trolley situation, but you like kind of have to sacrifice Aelita, otherwise all this shit happens. Xana got out into the internet, and that's their fault. They could have shut down the supercomputer a long time ago, and now they can't just shut down the supercomputer to stop Xana, because they fucked that up, so... because he's on the internet now, so good job, guys. You know, you could have just killed Aelita to, like, do this. Not that I'm saying we should kill Aelita. Obviously, that's not our number one solution to this, but, I mean, they kind of fucked up by not doing that, you know, sooner, or... They got too attached, you know what I mean? Like, they virtualized materialized Aelita, and that was the problem. You shouldn't have materialized Aelita. You should have shut off the supercomputer and just fucking... The show would have been over at that point, I know, but, like... I mean, it really... It just... Man, this track is good. I've never heard this, like... This is always in the background. The background music's actually pretty good. Listen to this. This is nice. But yeah, so just a thought, you know. I mean, I know, and we love Aelita, and the whole show's about friendship and stuff, and it kind of spits in the face of that. But it's kind of like a thing where it's like, dude, Xana causes so much trouble. I know we don't want to kill somebody, but also, like, Aelita just needs to die for Xana to die, you know what I mean? Like, I'm glad we didn't do that, because then we have a show, but, like, you know, kill Aelita. I don't know. I'm not for Team Kill Aelita, but I'm just saying, like, this is something that should have been thought about, you know, so. I know it's a kid's show, too, so they're probably not gonna, like, kill Aelita. That's not gonna happen. But, yeah, I don't know. But Season 2 is good. You know, it expands a lot on Season 1. It is kind of like the Miraculous Ladybug Season 2 versus Season 1, you know, where Season 1 was kind of Monster of the Week kind of thing, and we're still doing that a little bit, but they kind of get, like, more focused on Season 2. Like I said, the one flaw is that Xana doesn't do as many cool things as he used to. He's more just about possession now. So that's something, you know, like, I kind of miss some of that element from the previous season. And I think he starts doing stuff like that again in the next season, but if it was kind of just like a lax season with that, to, you know, just kind of, like, focus on the other stuff, like, I get that, for sure. And that works, you know, and we want to do the other stuff, of course, but, it just seems odd that Xana would suddenly just get really personal and just start possessing, like, certain people, and that's his whole plan every time, instead of just, like... I mean, it worked sometimes, kind of effectively. I mean, he's free now. I guess that kind of worked, you know, so, I don't know. Anyway, so... Yeah, but it's good. It was a good addition to Code Lyoko. Makes me just excited to watch more. I almost didn't remember that the season had ended there. But then I'm like, oh, they're back from, like, summer vacation and stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, this must be Season 3 now. So I'm just watching in a big, long playlist on YouTube. Because every episode is on YouTube for some reason. And the next show, Evolution, which... sadly, I think I'm going to watch and actually do the content on for this fucking channel, because, like, maybe I can even do episodic reviews of that there, like, because I'm just afraid it's gonna be terrible, you know, and it's gonna ruin, like, this awesome show that we already have. But I would be lying if I said I wasn't, like, the slightest bit curious about it. So anyway, yeah, that's it. Season 2 was great. I'm looking forward to more, so until next time, never forget, magic comes from the heart. Code Lyoko will withstand it all. Code Lyoko be the way you go. Code Lyoko, we, you and me, will stand real tall. Code Lyoko, stronger after all. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.